This is my epic hero project. My epic hero's name is Ambessa, which translates into lion, and it is used to describe fighters and warriors. He is about 5'4" tall, with afro hair and a skinny build. He is reserved and shy because how he was raised, and he believes family, values, and culture are super important. Since Ambessa was put up for adoption, he was put up for adoption in a family where he was viewed as dangerous and was raised very strictly, isolated from the outside world, with no devices, no electronics, only books and textbooks that he was allowed.
The reason why his adoptive parents treated him like that is because they were scared that he would use his powers against them and rule over them, so they were very much strict with him and made sure that he never realized he had these kinds of powers.
Throughout his childhood, he would have shared dreams with his sister Arsema, but he didn't know she was his biological sister until later on. She would tell him that he was the only person who could save the Habesha community because he was the supernatural being with an extra power, and she let him know that through his dreams.
When Ambessa was born, his powers tragically took his mother's life, who was a regular human. Unable to raise him alone, his supernatural father made a difficult decision to put him up for adoption.
Ambessa's call to adventure was when he realized that he was the only supernatural human being that could defeat the villain and also save the Habesha community. This way, he could still meet his sister and his biological dad. He also willingly left his isolated house, but he had to go through first trial. Little information about the villain. The villain was raised by a different adoptive family. The way he acts is a result of how his adoptive family raised him, in which they raised him being super prideful and arrogant. The reason why the villain wanted to attack the Habesha community is unknown, but we are sure that it's because they are helpless and they're easy to take over. And also they probably weren't aware of the villain wanting to attack their community.
You that guy in the background? Yeah, the one that's peeping through the window. Okay, so that's Ambessa's gardener and his biological dad. He works for his adoptive parents in order to watch over his biological son and help him through his trials. His adoptive parents hired him also as his caretaker. He is the one who lets Ambessa know of the threat and gives him the tools to defeat the villain, along with his biological sister Arsema, who through his dreams lets him know what the villain looks like.
This glowing rock is the talisman. It could help the epic hero kill the villain, and it was gifted by his biological dad, which is his supernatural helper. Crossing the threshold, the hero leaves his isolated state at his house and has to move to Silver Spring, where the Habesha community lives, and where the villain also lives.
Try what? First, the epic hero has to kill his adoptive parents in order to escape from his isolated state and go to the place where the villain is hiding.
Successfully killing his adoptive parents, now the epic hero has to fight the bodyguards in order to get the villain and finally defeat him and save the Habesha community. After defeating the villain defenders, now he gets to face the actual villain. Using the talisman that was given to him by his supernatural helper, which is his biological father, he uses that against the villain and puts it in his chest and leaves it there with him until he finally dies, and now he has saved and finally helped the Habesha community. Achievement of goal, he finally helped the Habesha community by ending the miserable villain's life, and now he realized that the gardener, the villain, and the supernatural helper, his sister, ended up being all related. Fortunately, the father and the son didn't have a disagreement or an argument, but the gardener tells the hero that he's his biological father and Arsema is his sister.
They return home. The epic hero doesn't go back where he was raised, but the epic hero's father was born in Eritrea, Asmara, so they decide to go back there and live happily ever after.